loose first of all. Just take those off so I can see. Right, ladies and gents, when you're ready, if you want to come into your set position, just anchor your weight through your heels and relax your knees. The knees drop in a little, just draw them out just to switch on your outer thighs. In as tall as you can, so pulling up through the crown of the head and a little nodding with the chin. We're going to start with the morning hug. Pull your shoulders gently forward and then draw your arms back and lift your chest. So there's a little nod in with your chin and then a lift of your chest. It's just starting to bring a little bit of movement into your thoracic spine, your upper back. Try and keep the tailbone gently drawn down, so it's just your upper back that you're moving. And then as you keep your tailbone drawn down, you should feel more stretch in that upper and mid-back area. A couple more here, taking a breath in, and then breathe out, lifting up in your chest. A little breath in through the nose, and then breathing out through the mouth. Palms reach up towards the ceiling, and we're going to take a little side bend from side to side. Can you hear me yet, Diane? Give me a thumbs up if you can, because you're muted, so I definitely can't hear you. So letting the ear tip towards the shoulder. By the look on Diane's face, you still can't hear me. Stretching your middle finger up towards the ceiling and feel your ribs really lifting away from your hips. Now the opposite elbow, you want to pull the elbow down towards the outside of the hip. So it's just encouraging a little bit more lateral flexion through our spine. Keep breathing in through the nose and then out through the mouth. A little nodding with the chin so your ear stays in line with the shoulder as you move. And once more to your left. I like that one. And bring your arms down. Little reset your shoulders and then float your arms forward. We're going to take a step back. As you step back, you're going to open your left arm and then step in. So your left leg steps back, your right arm opens. As we step back, a little tuck of your tailbone. So we're aiming to keep the hips nice and square to the front. So you turn the upper body, feeling the rotation through the back, through the neck. A nice strong connection to your core and through your glutes as you rotate. When you do step back, keep the back heel off the ground. So it's when you take your foot back, try and keep your weight placed through your front heel. And once more again on each side. Coming to your last one here. And then holding in centre. Taking your feet a little wider than your hips. We're going to sit the hips back into a squat and then circle the arms as we rise. So hips lead back behind the heels. We keep the knees open from the hips. There's that little nodding with the chin, so it's got that nice lengthened feeling through the neck and through the spine. Think about your core, gently drawing the belly button in towards the spine. So as you sit into your squat, we're still keeping a strong neutral position through the whole length of the spine. Feel the weight through the heels and drive the heels down as you drive your hips forward. 2 more circles here. See the shoulders also starting to warm up and work. Right, now hamstrings are a little warmer. You can step your right foot forward, put your left heel down and square at the hips. Now we're going to come into our hamstring stretch. We're going to hinge forward from the hips, keeping the chest open and lifted. And if you feel it's okay, you can float the arms forward a little as you push your bottom back. If you're floating the arms forward, don't round the back. If you're struggling to not round the upper back, let your hands stay here. So as you reach the arms forward, the shoulder blades still drawn down to the back of the ribs. And as if you're passing a box for somebody that's directly in front of you. So you reach forwards, you pull your bottom back, and you almost lift the bottom up towards the ceiling. And give me one more here. And we change legs. So step in, step the opposite foot forward again if you prefer. Hands can be here, the shoulders set, make sure the hips are square. Or again, a little arm float. And your eye gaze stay towards your hands rather than coming down towards the floor. Lifting your left buttock. Pushing that little further back and up. Breathe out through the mouth as you ease into that stretch. Then a soft breath in as you rise. And again, just 2 more here. Oh, it's definitely what my hamstrings need this morning. And coming into your last one. Keeping your legs nice and wide, we're going to take the right foot a little further back, so you're in more of your lunge position, and you've got some balance. You're tucking under the bottom. You can lift the arms, lower into the back knee. We're going to sweep the arms back, your palms face down as your back leg lifts. So we tuck under the tailbone to find a hip flexor stretch and then push out the front heel. Now we still want to bring in some focus into our shoulders, into our shoulder blades. So to feel those shoulder blades pull together as your hands push just behind your hips. And try and straighten the arms. So you're reaching back as well as lifting into the back of the shoulders. Each time when you push forwards, try not to move onto the toes, stay in the heel. And try not to lock out your front leg, so you're keeping that knee ever so slightly soft. Feeling the hip flexors. And bit by bit, you might find you can ease that back knee a little deeper down towards the ground. And one more time. Staying at the top. You can take hold of your hips. You're just going to bend your front knee and tap your right foot and then straighten your front leg. So you're sliding back, it's like a single leg squat. Notice how the hips, hands up to the side as a challenge. Try and keep your chin tucked in. And notice how the hips go back and then you push out the heel. Thinking about the left knee. It's open from the hips, again we're keeping the outer thighs switched on to keep that stability through our pelvis. And as you sit a little further back, stretch into the toe and push out the heel. Keeping that slight tilt forwards. 2 more on this leg. Left buttocks just nicely waking up. Your last one. And then stepping in. Changing legs. So your left leg strides back. It's a nice long stride with the heel lifted. Back knee's bent and your tailbone is tucked. Ease into the back knee. Tip forward, squeeze the shoulder blades. And balance. Breathe in through the nose. And slow out breath as you come forward. So we're trying to get the chest open as well as engaging our back here. So the more we think about drawing the shoulder blades towards each other, the more it's going to help us to open the front of the shoulders. The more we open the front of the shoulders, the stronger our back muscles can work. It helps us to improve our posture and keep this nice alignment of the spine. As we keep the spine in better alignment, our core can work better to maintain that position too. 2 to go here. And then your last one, staying at the top. Hold on to your hips because it makes life a little bit easier. Feel like you're doing a squat, reach back. Push out your front heel. Keep this lean forwards so the ear, shoulder, hip all stay nicely aligned. And you feel the weight moves back into the hips and you drive that front heel down for the rise. Belly button through to spine. Just rolling the shoulders back so we've still got a strong posture through our upper body as well as bringing that working load into our glutes. 3 to go. 2 and then your last one. And you can step in. And grab yourself a weight. Oh, that's warmed us up nicely. Hopefully Diane's getting warm somewhere as well. Right, from here we're going to come into our single leg deadlift with a row. So we're going to bring the weight back into the left and focus on that perfect alignment. The weight wants to pull your shoulder forward, so we want it to roll that shoulder back. Have the weight resting on the front of your thigh. Right leg is behind, right leg is straight. We're going to hinge and then push out of the left heel. So we're not bending this back leg, it's straight here. And when you tip forward, you're aiming to keep the leg straight and the hips nice and square to the floor. And there's no rush. Moving slowly so you've already got time to think about what's happening to the upper back. The weight naturally wants to pull your shoulder forward. By really focusing on holding that shoulder blade back into the spine, as we're working through the legs, also working through our shoulder stability. We're going to add in a little wide row. So we hold here, so where it starts to use our obliques, so we bring the arm out to the side, towards the knee, and then we rise. If you're struggling to lift that back leg at any point, you can keep it down, just keeping it light. Still work with the hinge, keeping the weight into the heel, the row, and then rise a little. That back leg's coming up, keep it straight, keep it strong. When you lower the weight, try and keep a mild connection between your shoulder blade and your spine. So the whole time our ears and shoulders are staying level. We've got 2 left here. Again, feeling the work around the standing leg. Stretching back into your toe on your right leg. Your last one. Opening, releasing and rising. Keep the feet wide. From here we're going to come down to a little squat. So you can wrap your right arm around your back so it opens up the shoulder. We're going to come down into a squat and we're going to lift to 90 degrees. Don't let the shoulders roll forward as you lower the squat, because that is the back then bending, and then we have to use our back for the lift. Try to think about keeping the spine locked in this position and bring the work into the legs. So that way we're naturally using our core more to maintain our neutral spine. And all the drive comes through the heels. At the bottom of the squat we've got our knees open. Breathing out with the lift. Notice how the elbow stays just below shoulder level here. 4 to go. Feel the in-breath. Breathe out, brace your core to stop. Keep the chest up and open. Your last 2. And your last one. And hold. Bring the weight down. Take the hip over to the right and open up the arms. Pull the shoulder blades together again, and it's going to help to stretch out the inner thigh with your left leg. We're going to breathe in as we open, and then breathe out to rise. If you're not quite feeling the stretch here, don't be afraid to take your legs wider. Just try and keep the hip pushed across, whichever position your legs are in. Now you can turn your head to bring a little bit more stretch into the obliques. Relax your left arm, relax your left shoulder. So you're not pulling the weights up with the hand or the shoulder, you're allowing that to hang as you rise. Nice big deep breath in here, and then breathe out, pull. Little squeeze between the shoulder blades the whole way through, and your last 2. Into open, out on the rise, and your last one. So that just releases that standing leg we've just worked with. So let's come back into centre, weight in your right hand. When you're ready, your left leg goes behind, not bent, squeeze the thigh and lean forward. So again, neutral position here, shoulders are back, and then when you're ready, we hinge forward like a little seesaw. One end lowers, the opposite end lifts, but we keep that nice straight line through the trunk of the body. Your standing leg will want to lock. Just let the knee joint be soft. Doesn't have to be a big bend, but just want that softness in the knee. And that's going to help to strengthen the tendons, ligaments around that knee joint to give us more stability as we move. Again, if you prefer, you might want to hold onto the hip. Sometimes it's good just to have something to hold onto, even if it's moving. We're adding that wide row or stay with that first move. So just before we row, again, make sure our core is nicely switched on. And then we reset. We breathe in. Pull the shoulder blade in, just above the knee, and we rise. As you tip forward, your eye gaze should come about 3-4 foot in front of your toes, so you're not looking forward. You might find the knee starting to want to pull in. I can feel mine is. So just need to make sure I'm drawing that knee out to keep that outer spine hip switched on to maintain that nice alignment as I move. 3 to go. Keep squeezing. Back leg nice and straight. Push out the heel for 2. And your last one. Diane still can't hear her, bless her, she keeps popping in and out. And hold, take the foot wide. So knees are open, toes are slightly turned out, shoulder back in set position. Don't let that shoulder drop forward, so keep your chest lifted, sit into the hips, and then hold at 90 degrees. So you drive out the heels, and then you rotate back with the shoulder all at the same time. Again, if the back bends, we use the back to lift. We want to be using our core to support the spine. So then all the work, handstand legs. When the arm comes up, no higher than the shoulder, just below shoulder level. Now push hard through the heels and squeeze your bum. And at the top, brace your core to stop. It's like you put the brakes on it to stop. Your shoulders going back behind your hips. So we'll stop here each time, strong set position. Core braces now. And twice more. Your last one. And bring that weight down. Legs wide or wider. Relax this right shoulder, but keep it back so it's still in line with your ear. And then when you're ready, come into your windmill. And just let the arm hang the whole way through. Even when you're rising, just letting the weight hang down. Bit by bit, you're starting to push your left hip maybe a little further across and get the feeling you're trying to lift your hip that little bit higher each time too. Palm stays facing forward. You can turn your eye gaze up towards your hand. Just brings a slightly different stretch in and around the waist. Can you hear us yet, Diane? Yes! Shall we start again? Breathe in to ease down and then breathe out to rise. Keep squeezing the thighs, a strong straight legs, strong foundation to move from. And your last two here. Slow breath, breathe out nice and strong, cut nice and tall, and then in to your last one. And hold. Perfect. Right, let's alternate between some side lunges and some backward stepping lunges. So we're going to start with the weight here. We're not going to think about the arms. We're going to think about the legs first. So your feet are set position, your elbows are in, and roll the shoulders back, so stacked above your hips. Step across your side lunge. Step back to your lunge here. So we're going to stride across, and then stride back. So we're looking at stability through the standing leg. That foot stays flat the whole time. Now you can start to add in the arms. You can press, lower it down to the thighs, bicep curl and press. Lower it to the thighs, bring it to your chest. You can hold that lunge for a second as you add in your press. Now when you step wide, keep that right knee open from the hip. I missed the arms there. And add your press. 4 to go. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Take a breath in, maybe making it flow from one position to the other, but nice and controlled. Next time you lunge, stay at the back. Hold here, open that knee, down to the back triceps, and rise. So the elbows squeeze in, making sure that front knee, back knee isn't dropping in, so both knees opened and aligned with the hips. Little tug of the tailbone as we sink. And just aware those ribs don't flare as we lower the arms. So we start to use upper abdominals as well to help us maintain that neutral spine. Give me 3 more. 2. And your last one. Hold at the top. Bring the weight down. Keep the weight in the left heel. Let that foot tap in. Tap it back. Now as you tap in, pull the weight to the belly. Extend the leg. So back on that standing leg, that left leg. Bottom notice it's back and not coming forward under the shoulders. We've got that tilt. And if you make it a little harder, don't put the foot down. Stretch the toes, hold back in. When the weight comes down, hold those shoulder blades together. Core in, belly towards spine. 3 to go. 2. And your last one. And hold. Step in. Should we do it all again? Right, we're going to come to our side lunges. I'm going to sneeze as well. And your backward stepping lunges. So forget the arms, just lock into the shoulders, squeeze the elbows in like you're holding pencils under your armpits. Stride to your left. Stride straight back into your lunge. Sink in, out to that side lunge, and straight back to your lunge here. So when you lift here, straighten this leg, and then take it back from the hip. Straighten the leg, and then out from the hip. Nice strong straight leg each time we move. If you're not adding the arms. Breathing in, sitting back into the hips. Slowly easing down into that lunge. And again, if you want to break it down a little, get your lunge first, then add the press. Again, if you feel comfortable going slower, so you've got plenty of time to work with control through the arms at the same time. Whole body workout. Core still strong. Again, the alignment of the spine as we move is the most important thing here. You've got one more. We stay at the back. We hold at the bottom of the lunge. We bring the elbows in. We lower the weight. And we rise. We check in the knees. Aren't dropping in because if they do, the hips twist. So again, keeping those outer thighs switched on. It's so important when we lunge. Not just the knee alignment, but hip alignment too. The more muscles we switch on, they're attached to our pelvis as we move, the more they're working that constant stability, constant control. A little tuck at the bottom. Feel that pubic bone slightly lifting up to your belly button. Then you might even find a little bit more stretch in those quads and hip flexors. 2 more. Your last one. Hold. Bring the weight forward. Keep the weight here. I'm going to tap your knee in, out. Option for a little pull. Tapping on the floor. Or lifting and extending. Notice the standing leg still bent, not locked. If it's locked, it's harder to get that tilt forward. So the more we keep that tilt forward, the more we can focus on our neutral spine naturally. And then we can focus on the balance. We can hopefully feel that work. And the standing leg. 3. Straight leg as it goes back. 1 more time. And then hold and step in. Right, so we're doing a little bit of kneeling work. So from on coming down to the floor, we're going to have our left leg forward, a nice long stride, and the weight in your right hand. When we lean forward, we're going to bring the elbow onto your thigh, but don't let the back round or the shoulder drop. So we roll the shoulder back and we lift up the chest. A row and then a tricep kick back. Now if we're upright here, it's hard to get that tricep kick back. So that's why we're leaning forwards. But notice how the hip comes forward too. So you've got that nice alignment from the ear, shoulder, hip, knee. A little tuck at the bottom. Feel the shoulder blades squeeze into the spine. So when you lower the weight, you don't want to see this happen. Don't want to feel like your spine twist. Once you get your spine locked into this position, again, we keep a strong connection in our core. Maintain that strong alignment as we move. Squeeze the back of the arm. Stay at the top next time. 3 kickbacks. So hold here, kick back for 3. Now just the hip, no further. 2, twitch the outside of the hip. 1, ease it all the way back to 90 degrees and down. So pull up just to the hip. So it's a shorter range in the tricep kickback. I'm just going to make them work just that a little bit harder. 2 more sets. Up. 3. Hip only. 2. 1. And then resist. 1 more time. Squeeze. Release. Squeeze. Release. Squeeze. Release. And all the way down. Put the weight down. Bring the hands down and take your left knee back. Hands shoulder width. And what we're going to do from here is bring our weight forward. Belly's braced, and you can lift your right knee off the floor in tabletop position. Now we're just going to bend the elbows a little and feel like you're tipping forwards. I know it's a push out the heels of your hands to come back to your start position. It's not a big tip, it doesn't need to be. But I do need your elbows to pull back towards the hips. Your head coming slightly forward with the hands. Thinking about our core, drawing the belly button in towards the spine. Breathing in as we ease down. And then breathing out on the rise. 2 to go. Shoulder stability really strong. And then hold, bring your knees down. Keep the hands where they are and pull your hips back. Walk the fingers forward a little if you can. Press down through the fingertips. Let your head sink between your arms. Pull the hips back, keep pressing into your fingers. While we're here, we give the knees a rest and come to a lying position. So we can come forward and just ease ourselves all the way down to the ground. So your hands just outside and just in front of your shoulders. So your elbows are in and you can still squeeze your armpits closed. So let's lengthen from the toes, through the tailbone, through the crown of the head. We're going to gently lift our forehead and then we're going to ease back down to the floor. We use the out breath on the lift and the in breath as we lower. Keep drawing the shoulder blades into the back of the ribs. Now when you lower, I want you to lift your right leg and bring your right leg down and lift your left leg as your head lowers and then bring your right leg up. So again, using the out breath to lift the head. Take a breath in, let the leg lift as the head comes down. Head lifts. And again, the opposite leg lifts as your head starts to come down. We're really starting to get all the muscles through the back of the body to work together. Now think about your tummy button. Try and just gently hold the tummy button away from the ground. Try not to look forwards, keep trying to look to the floor even when you lift. And just once more on each side. So really good for that lower back and mid back area. Bring the head down, keep the legs still. Bring the hands back in when you're ready. Squeezing the elbows. Give yourself that push up. And let's do it all on the other side. So if you take your weight in your left hand this time, and it's your right leg that will be forwards. So don't stride too small. Big stride forward, then let that front knee go forward so you can then see how this back hip has got space to come down to that diagonal line. Shoulder sets first. Chest lifts, so again push your elbow into your thigh to set your upper body. Then we can row and we can kick back. And you want to feel your elbow touching the side of your rib cage here. Keep it in. So you've got that constant feeling of keeping the armpit closed, which really helps to engage the lats, stabilise the muscles around our shoulders. Then we think about giving the shoulder blades a little squeeze towards each other, just to switch on a few more muscles around that shoulder girdle. So then as much as we're focused on moving the arm, we're focused on holding our shoulders in a really strong set position. This time, the 3 kick back. So we hold, we extend just the hip for 2, 1, and then come all the way down. Neck long, shoulder blades down to the back of the ribs, squeeze the back of the arm, feel the back of the arm, and twice more. Just the hip each time for those 3. So again, we're saying that shorter range of movement, we just start to bring a bit more load and extra resistance in those triceps. Your last one here, and then bring the weight down. Pop it down. So the hands fairly narrow, so the shoulder width and your fingers are spread. Shoulders away from your ears. You can keep the knees down, or again, you can now lift your left knee. So give that knee a little rest too. Don't slide back. Try and lean forward like you're trying to peek over your hands and then coming back into centre. If it's too much with the leg lifted, bring the foot down. You can just place the knee back underneath the hip. Watch the direction the elbows are going in. They're going towards the back of the room, not out to the side of the room. Belly button towards spine as you hinge forwards. Push the floor away. Breathe in. Breathe out, push. In through the nose, out through the mouth. 2 more. Push evenly out of both hands. Those triceps starting to get a little tired. And then you can bring the knees down. Pull the hips back. Keep pressing down with your fingertips. And just that little release here for your spine. We're going to come into a seated position next with our weight, and we're going to have the weight just in the one hand. And have a little bit of rotation for our obliques. So the legs are a good distance out in front, so not too close up with the hips. Taking your weight just in your right hand here, and you have the weight just below your shoulder. We're going to come to a roll back, pulling the elbow back and reaching forward just to the knee. So it's like a bow and arrow, but with the weights in the hand. We turn our chest to the weight, and we turn away at the top. We just check the legs. So as you're rolling backwards and forwards, you're trying to make sure the knees and the hips stay still. You can roll a little bit further back if that feels okay for your back, or stay with a small movement. Again, don't reach too far forward as you rise, just stop by the knee. Keep some tension out the shoulder. 3 to go. 2. And your last one. Put the weight down, come all the way down. Let's get into lower abs for a second. So we're going to bring the knees up above the hips. Head's rested. We're going to tilt the pelvis back so we have an imprint and not let the knees come over the belly. So they're stacked here at 90 degrees. Turn your palms up and press your shoulders down. Extend one leg, alternate legs slowly. Now again, we're not focused on the leg movement, we're focused on what's staying still rather than what's moving. So thinking about our core first. If the back's lifting because you're taking your leg down towards the floor, the back muscles are contracting and it's not allowing your abdominals to work. So it's not about how low we can get those legs, it's how we can keep the belly button drawn softly towards the spine, bracing your core before you move, and then trying to hold that brace and resist the movement of the legs. Nodding the chin, drawing the front of the ribs slightly down towards the hips. Now if you want to work a little harder, you can nod in your chin, reach your palms forward, palms up to the ceiling, and your fingertips reaching away. Keep stretching away through your middle finger. Try not to let the knee come over the belly. Feel the ribs down. Feel the belly button easing down towards the spine. For 4 if you can. Rest the head if you need to. No tension in the neck, so you're not pulling the head forward from the neck. The neck is relaxed. And then you can hold onto the knees and you can roll back down. From here, push your knees forward into your hands when you're ready. Nod in the chin and take a roll and back up. Back to the obliques. So your weight's in your left hand. And again, don't reach it too far forward because it'll really start to load into the shoulder. We want a soft, relaxed elbow here. I want the focus on the shoulder holding it in set position. The opposite arm can extend, so no weight there. We're going to pull back and then just push to the knee. Pull back, push to the knee. If it feels too much with the weight, just pop the weight down. Now check the knees aren't rocking from side to side. Breathe in as you ease back, and then breathe out to come forwards. We all know our bow and arrows. We feel the hips are anchored and the rotation through the ribs, through the head and shoulders. 2 to go. In breath, out breath, in, out, back down. Right, so you want to give your shoulders a little release, just circle the arms around. And then we'll come into some leg work. We'll leave the tummy alone for a second. Have a roll onto your back, onto your side, sorry. Stacking up the knees, stacking up the hips, so your clam position to begin with today. And we're going to start with the clam. So all we're going to do from here, trying to make sure again, we're focused on what's staying still, which is our pelvis, so we're using our core, and we're opening from the hip joint. Breathe out with the lift, and breathe in as the knee lowers. So out to lift, breath in as the knee comes down. Out through the mouth, and into release. And try and get the feeling that you're trying to slightly lift or pull your waist up off the floor. And just that feeling that you're thinking about trying to lift your waist slightly up away from the ground is going to engage the muscles on the underneath side, which again creates a little bit more support for the underneath side of the spine, which comes from our obliques as well. Always good to keep working the waist. 2 more to the top, and then holding at the top. Keep the part of the leg and the hip still now, and let's just extend from your knee. So if you glance at your knees, they should stay aligned the whole way through. If your hamstrings are tight, you may feel the leg wants to pull away. If that's happening, don't straighten the leg, just take it to where you can keep the knees stacked. That way we've got the knee joint stabilised, the hips stable, and the work's just coming through the lower part of the leg. Or shall I say the movement's coming from the lower part of the leg, the work's coming from the hips. Keep lifting the knee, try not to let it drop. Breathe out on the extension. Little breath in as it eases back. Squeeze into the toes. Give me 2 more here. And your last one. Hold. Bring the leg back. Hips are stacked. And you're going to scoop your knee forward just above your bottom knee and then back out straight. Now if you struggle to bring the knee high, you feel your hips have to roll back, so that movement's not available in your hip, just bring the knee to where you can, keep the pelvis stacked and still. The ribs are connected down slightly towards the hips. You've got the belly button softly into the spine. You're still trying to have that feeling of lifting the waist just slightly off the ground. 3, ease in. 2, ease in, hold on the out. Lower the leg all the way to the floor. If you can't get the foot down, bring that bottom leg a little further forward. Stack up the hips again, keeping the hips still. We're now using the abductors, strengthening through the outer thigh and the hip. Squeeze the front of the thigh so as that leg's lifting, it's strong and straight all the way through. 5, lightly down with control. 4, resist the weight of the leg. 3, no rush. 2, and your 1. Hold at the top. Bring your knee forward and lower the whole leg down and rub the hip. Ready for the other side? Sure you are. Let's have a roll over, coming back to our clam position to begin with. Just moving that first clam. So you're starting to warm the opposite hip up. The one that you're going to now lie on, obviously has done lots of work, and it will still continue to work to stabilise as we move this top leg. The muscles around here have been stabilising while we move the other leg. So this is why the second side, whichever side it is always a little bit harder. Stack the hips, nodding the chin, connect the ribs. So again, if your ribs are flaring, remember the tummy muscles are lengthening and your back's contracting. So to draw the ribs and hips slightly towards each other, allow that length into the back. It stops the back contracting as much to stabilise. Then once you're there, opening the knee, just your basic clam. Checking the ribs don't pop forward as you lift the knee. Breathing out on each rise and a soft breath in on each lower. Because the out breath is going to help us to engage our core when we need it most. Because it's so tempting to let the back arch and the ribs flare forward as you lift the knee. And remember, if that's back starting to arch, that's the lower back muscles contracting, and because that has to contract, these have to disconnect. So try and more focus on holding the connection in the front of the body rather than the back of the body. Especially this time. So again, we're in our neutral spine, abdominals are drawn in. We just start to extend the leg, and we try and make sure the knees are staying aligned as the leg extends. The knee might want to drop, so we're still feeling that the knee is slightly lifted up towards the ceiling. And that feeling of keeping the knee lifted is what's going to keep the connection through the abductor here. So I'm going to talk about squats and lunges now. We say open the knees from the hips and keep that knee hip ankle alignment. It's this muscle we always try and target. And because we don't move side to side a lot, these muscles get weak and create hip stability. So I know they're tough, but I promise you they're really, really good for you. And again, even the basic movements are tough when you do them properly. Give me 2 more. Squeeze the thigh. Hold the next one. Bring your leg back. Push the leg away. Reset your core first. And let the knee come in. So you're just seeing how far you can comfortably bring the knee in without the back arching or the hips rocking backwards. And still trying to hold your waist slightly away from the floor. And even if it doesn't lift, that feeling, you're trying to pull it up off the ground like the floor's hot. And you don't want it to sink down and burn. The burns in the bottom, it can stay there. Breathe in, breathe out, push and lengthen now. Try and just lengthen that a little bit further as you extend. 4, 3, 2, last one. All the way to the floor. If you can't get to the floor because it's underneath leg, bring that underneath leg a little further forward. Come down, lift, come down, lift. Still holding the waist off the ground. Because you can get the leg higher by letting that waist collapse. But again, if the waist's moving and collapsing, the trunk of the body's moving, our core's switching off a little. So it's not about going big, it's about stabilising first. And the more you stabilise first, the more you're going to feel these muscles around that hip working. 5, 4, 3, the leg gets a little bit heavier. 2, your last one, hold it, bring it forwards and lower. Feel the heat again. Right, time has flown by. I'm sorry, I really got into that one. Take a little roll over onto your hands and knees. Bring your hands in by your ribs and squeeze the elbows in. When you're ready, take a little lift of your chest. You can use the arms to lift a little higher. Don't let those shoulders come forward. Hold the shoulder blades together and then lift your heart, lift your ribs. From here, nodding your chin and pull yourself back into a cat stretch. Child's pose even. Fingers are pressed down, hips are pulled back. As you tuck under your tailbone, that's going to help to lengthen and release the back. As you're pulling the hips back, getting into our glutes too. We're going to come back into our box position in the centre. So knees under hips and hands under shoulders. Now you can do the cat stretch. Draw the belly up, look to your thighs. Lower the belly and look forwards or up to the ceiling. So again, just allowing that movement to roll through our nice, warm, well-worked spines. Heart comes forward, tailbone tucks. And once more. And hopefully it'll stop raining today so we can actually get out for a walk, Lexi dog. With your toes tucked, you're going to push your weight back onto the balls of your feet. Walk the hands back when you're ready. Hands come on the floor, or you can bring your elbows to your thighs. The chin nods in, we relax neck, shoulders, and we relax the spine. Feel the weights in the heels and we take a breath in. On the out breath, then we start to reset. Keeping the chin tucked in as you rise. Oh, bottom's still working. As you rise to the top, we're going to roll those shoulders back. We're going to stand nice and tall. Just take a nice big lift of the arms. Press your palms together and reach up. I can't. But reach up the best you can. Take a little bend over to your right. Press your left heel down. So we're not letting the hips go across. Keep the hips in centre. In centre here with the hips. And then just move through the spine. Press down evenly into both heels. And then ease into the centre. And release your arms. Pull up those shoulders. And let them go. And again, a little lift. And a release. And well done, ladies and gents. Good work. Sorry, Diane, that you missed some of that.